is the Grassroots Education and Entertainment Network, your number one source of information, education, and entertainment. For honest, responsible, and dependable information, we stand supreme. To stay focused, inspired, and relaxed, choose green. Ekabo, and welcome to the traditional Herbal Health Show. And I would introduce the host of today's show, Coach Eonti, PhD. And before we begin today's show, we're going to have a very interesting show today. I would like to open by reading an essay Ifa from the Odu Euroson Obara. The essay Ifa reads, sorry, this would be Irasu Okara. All right? It's the first essay. Those who fail in their defense against insults from others must continue to suffer. Were the ones who cast for all servants of Ifa, especially for the Omolawo Ologbo. Ologbo, that is the cat, was determined to conquer all obstacles and have victory over his enemies. They ordered him to sacrifice a knife, a tare pepper, 22,000 koris, and awe. Cat listened, made the sacrifice, and sang, "The Ikiki always dominates the wood. Let me dominate my enemies today. Let this medicine help me out today. The ebo is one knife, a tare pepper, a flat-headed pin, ikeke ori leaf, isepe leaf, herbs from the farm, and 22,000 koris." All right, and it goes further into preparing the ebo material, which I wouldn't read for today. But I would introduce again our host for today's show, Coach Eonte, PhD.
Yeah, and happy New
All
Year
over
to
to you, Ian.
everyone. We all have, challenges. We have a lot of debates about whether we are indeed in the new year or not, but we are just going to follow the 2022 year protocol and wish you all the best for this new calendar year. So I am happy to be back on season three of the traditional herbal health corner on the Green International Network. And for this season, we are going to focus on Italy. What's the best way to eat? To be healthy, to be happy, and not to be bothered by any health threats or any health complications. So today's topic is when is the right time to detox? So I chose this topic because in January there's always this trend where everybody wants to lose weight. 3 out of 4 people start a detox or a diet regime soon after Christmas, lured by the prospect of a quick fix solution to combat overindulgence during the festive season. So before you purge the system, the question is, do you really need to detox in January? Or do you really need to detox at all? So if you question your physician, usually you may find that most do suggest that sensible eating, resting, and exercise might do the job just as well, and that the detox is not necessary. You know, chances are that if you are health conscious and if you are watching our health corner this evening, you are already on the health kick or you have already begun your own detox. So this takes us back again to the question, but does your body truly need it? Is it the best time? According to panel of scientists, your body is designed to do the work on its own. You're going to find that this is spoken a lot whenever we talk about any natural type of therapy. So the physician promote that the detox is not very beneficial, that if you would just take some exercise, it would do the trick. And that taking any herbal supplement or doing any prescribing to any therapy, it's not really necessary. Okay. However, what if your body is not functioning well enough? How many of us are not able to get up and go jog 10 miles, for example? How many of us are not able to get up and walk? And usually, before you could get there, you may need help, to bring yourself to a certain balance before you could take what's considered a regular step by modern medicine. Okay? So now my question is, what if you are continuously experiencing fatigue, indigestion, for example? What if you are always experiencing headache or body pain? Usually, when that's when you have to be conscious that you may need to re-energize your body. So I would like us to pay attention to the word re-energize the body because a detox is to bring the body back to balance where it can do the work on its own. So from the holistic approach, a detox is something that is necessary from the holistic approach. So detox, is one of the many solutions that you can use to rebalance your body, and it can actually take many forms because usually we, when we think about a detox, let me ask Baba, when you think about a detox, what do you have in mind?
Well, basically, whenever I hear the term detox, I think about removing poisons from your system. That's basically how I view it. That's what I would think about right away as I hear that word.
Okay, all right. Okay, you might not be the best person to ask, but if I ask a common person who is not into herbs the way we are, a detox today they would think about a tea, a purge, taking a supplement, maybe intermittent fasting, whatsoever the case may be. But is it the only way to detox? Is it, what detox is about? Well,
Well, I
taking a
mean,
taking a
definitely, to me, I think there is most people would think there are more than one ways that you could actually detox, but how many ways are there?
so well, let's talk about it. This is number one. What is a detox? Well, in the human body, we accumulate toxins on a daily basis, and this is due to the mechanism of the digestion process. So we eat food, the food get digested, then the nutrition goes to each and every cell so that the body can function well. During the process, certain toxins will produce residue, and it has to be eliminated through urine, feces, and sweat. This happens every day for the rest of your life. Now, because of the fast-paced life with so much of junk food, fast food, tasty food, and especially a sedentary lifestyle, this part is very important. We create more toxin in our body, and those toxins will gradually block cellular nourishment and thereby reducing optimal functioning and also creating many imbalances leading to disease in the long run. So your body is like a vehicle. If you do not service your car with regular oil change, replacing your air filters, engine oil filters, greasing the parts, I'm guilty for this because I'm a lady, so I don't think about all the detail of servicing my vehicle. But when it comes to our body, we have to take the time to think about all those body parts, and we got to be grateful when they are all working in sync. Sometimes it won't, especially if we are very tired, if we have gone through a period of stress, if we have gone through a long period of grieving, and especially if we don't eat the right way, right? So if the vehicle is not maintained properly, it will not perform well, and one day it will also break down. So that's the same way with the body. If you do not cleanse it once now and then, from time to time, the accumulated toxins just like a mist will degenerate and gradually it will cause your body to stop functioning properly. So the general idea of the detox regime is that usually it is a short, sharp program where you select what you eat while you reduce your overall food intake. Usually during a detox, we think about drinking a lot of water. Hopefully, we think about staying off alcohol. Whenever possible, also we try to avoid smoking, and then we take a lot of herbal supplements or drink detox. So usually in today's society, this is a general idea of a detox. So usually in January, I would have many people calling me, "Do you have tea? I need a detox. Give me a tea. Where's the tea?" Everybody wants to buy tea, but is the tea enough to work the magic? All right. So on this show, we like to visit our tradition, mostly because the generation before us lived longer and they were also healthier. So traditionally, let me speak for the women part. Women will undergo cleansing programs to service their body to function better and also to prevent serious disease or infection. All type of practice. But those practices, they have been all the practices that have been associated to healing and tradition have generally been mocked, discriminated against, and often prohibited over the years, and even renamed rituals in order to compare it to what is considered witchcraft. So it's like many of those traditions that our elders would put together to keep their body in sync and to last longer. We have put away all those stuff because we associate it to witchcraft or something that is bad. So now, if we don't do those things, or if we don't do what was done before in order to maintain our great grandparents healthy and strong, okay, we have to consider what are the new possibilities we have to to have the same performance and the same longevity.
But
When we
yeah,
are
I have
yes,
a question though, because to me it seems a lot of times we um we look for the newest fad,
sure,
right? In weight loss or in detox or in cleansing the system, and we go to the pharmacy and we get the over the counter products. But it seems that the more we seek to find out what is the latest trend and the latest fad, that a lot of these things happen to be things that were used in the past by our ancestors.
exactly. Because what our ancestors used worked without all the trends, all the science, and all the experiments. It simply worked. So therefore, the wellness industry and anything holistic nowadays is usually, a process that have been revisited from whichever tradition. Very often it is from our own tradition. Often it comes from other places, and I can speak very much of Ayurveda because once upon a time, when I was growing up, yoga was something bad. If you do yoga, it would be part of witchcraft because you are bowing to the sun, etc., etc. And now yoga is a trend everywhere. And when yoga became a trend, so did Ayurveda because yoga is just one science. That's part of it's just
Yeah,
one
but
science associated to Ayurveda. So
but
now
it,
people no
yeah,
longer talk to me.
yeah, if you do yoga and you face the east and you bow to the sun, these old cathedrals and
You
Catholic
bowing to
churches and Anglican
towards
churches,
the sun.
they
You're not
face the
even bowing to
east,
the sun.
and the glass,
Mhm.
m- the fancy patterned glass, bring the sunlight straight into the church, and Muslims pray facing Mecca. I mean, I don't know why we see differences where there are so many similarities.
There are many similarities, but the point is everything is a matter of perspective. Who is teaching you? Who is educating you? And what is their perspective? Understand? It's like people are not going. Like I remember when I used to visit the Catholic churches, there would be this glass window with the picture of all the saints in a particular glass, and the sun indeed would make this look so beautiful that you could forget all what's going on, just to be looking, at the angle of the light through all those design, and it would be so beautiful. But we don't pay attention, and we were never taught that the church is built in a particular direction towards the element. But the point is, if the idea is to discourage people from taking interest into other religions and other lifestyles, you have to, put the practice was to to avoid pointing to similarity, to point to whatever they could consider as bad and as a sure path to hell, etc. in this, we have lost a lot of our ways, a lot of our traditions. And through that, even the word tradition, sometimes people take it very wrong. I mean, over the past 2 weeks, I have realized that some people in my circles have invested a lot of energy to actually make me understand that my passion for tradition and anthropology is related to health. But um, I'm a person who just take everything with a smile because it's all about knowledge, and knowledge is power, including in taking care of our body and remaining healthy. Because at the end of the day, many people know that you would go to the doctor, you would go to the hospital knowing you are not feeling well, knowing that the body part of yours is causing you problem or imbalance. I'm sorry for my daughter in the background because I can see her in the screen. I'm a mommy. And the doctor would tell you, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You will spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of euros, undergoing all manners of examination. And when done, everything is fine with you, but you still have your pain and you still have your imbalance. You still experience, I don't know, stomach acid or whatever the case may be. All right. So the point is, who is right? Are you crazy and you're not feeling the pain? Or is the doctor right and nothing is wrong with
Well, I mean, again, you mentioned it earlier, is perspective, because a lot of times um, the medical doctors work with signs and symptoms. So it means they are looking for specific markers to make a determination on what might be wrong. But in a lot of instances, sometimes there are no signs or symptoms. It doesn't mean that nothing is wrong with you. Look at this latest version of the disease. I don't want to call it by its name.
you?
There are very, very few symptoms, but it is all the same as fatal. So it's not every condition that a person may have obvious signs and symptoms. So I think maybe that approach might be one approach, but remember there are different type of doctors too. Depression.
Exactly.
I think when we had Dr. Akpe on the program, he mentioned, that people, the mere fact that most of us are experiencing so much confinement due to the current situation, that a lot of people are manifesting symptoms of other diseases that they do not have, that is just caused by depression.
And stress and so on. Well, I totally agree with you because when we decided to take a little break during the show, I felt like I was going to be able to get some rest, but I didn't get any. I didn't get any because the numbers for the said disease are terrible on our island. It might be the same other places, but it's been so hectic right here locally that I didn't really get the chance to take a look at what's going on around her because it's
Okay.
very stressful around here and many people have been sick around me and I mean every day that I would find a message on my WhatsApp from someone that I probably didn't hear from in a long time, you would be sure that this message would tell me I'm positive for such and such.
Hmm.
So it was crazy. The numbers have been like over 5,000 at this point when you consider both sides of the island, and it's
Okay.
only 37 square miles.
Wow.
So it's terrible. I'm a mother. I have 4 children, different age groups, and I mean, I think one went to school on Friday for the first time when school reopened. I believe on the 3rd of January. I'm saying I believe because mine were not able to go back to school. They had to quarantine because they had been in contact with another one who was sick.
Okay.
So it has been very crazy. And also now, why do I mention that? Is that trying to cope with everything and all the regulation that keep changing every week, regulation change because schools have been depleted and empty. I mean, honestly, what I enjoy the most is to be able to leave the house later than usual and you get to your destination on time because the road is empty. Everybody is home for rest. So that I have
Okay.
enjoyed that part. But trying to cope with everything and what is always changing has been such a stress. And when you have children and children are going and play with somebody else, and next day you find out the person is positive. The
No,
people
well,
that can go back
I
to school.
think,
So we
yeah,
just
some of the,
stress.
I'm sure some of the things you are addressing, there are many viewers who going through a similar
Oh,
experience with
yes,
their children
yes,
at home and are concerned about their children coming into contact with other children.
yes.
So even issues of the boosting of the immunity and the very same thing we're discussing here, detoxing,
Awesome. Yes, detox.
also plays an important role as far as your body ridding itself of
Exactly.
bacterias and other undesirables.
And being able to cope with it because sometimes you may come in contact with it or something else, but you don't develop it because you have detoxed your body, because you have boosted your immune system, or maybe because you know your body is able to metabolize, you know, the toxin when it comes in contact with your system. And this is something also very important. As I said, like all of us are gonna have different perspectives, but five of us in the house, only one person got sick over the vacation.
Okay.
The first time this visited the home, that was in August, two of us got sick. The first person got sick, and I got sick because I did not take sufficient care to take care of myself. You know, so
Of
I
course,
got
but
sick.
I'm hoping though that everybody would have developed a stronger immune system being exposed to it earlier.
Well, what happened is that my both my boys are football players, and so they went away to another island to play football. Unfortunately, they came back sick. But then when they came back sick, the one who had got sick the first time, in 2 days he was okay. From the time I acknowledged it, you know, we did what we had to do, and he was okay. The one who did not get sick the first time, he really got sick really bad. Okay, but it stopped at him. The girls never were affected. And I only suffered like, you know, the sore throat. But the minute I get the sore throat, I knew like I wasn't allowing it to go any further. I
Okay.
got the cold sweat. I was able to move about because I knew at that time that I didn't just need a routine detox, and it did a strong detox to get rid of, you know, to cut the process. So
All
that was,
right.
and so now Christmas time, only one got it, one other daughter. But out of four children, there is one who never got it yet, you know, from, and she's dancing right here as I'm saying that because that's the one who was passing in the back. No matter how many times she came in contact with it, she never got it yet. But she's also the only one who goes out on her own and go pick the books. She learned them. You know, she'll get a little rush and she go pick her own thing on her own. So she never got it. And I'm very happy about that. I find that she takes chances in exposing ourselves unnecessarily, but you know, all of us are going to react to a situation differently. But nonetheless, so to get back to you know the detox,
Yeah,
when
because
I would be
at the same time, what we discussing with the detox,
yes,
I think some of the viewers may want to know what role this may play in the boosting of their immune system.
okay. So that comes to my next question: who needs a detox or detox treatment? Okay. So now anybody who have a busy lifestyle, eat an healthy food or unhealthy drink. You take about soda if you just buy juice in the supermarket, unless it is in our local. Anyone who doesn't have time to exercise, who is guilty of that? Me. Okay. Anyone who consume oil or fried food, people who probably drink too much alcohol. We're talking about more than the 1 2 glasses weekly. Anyone who is smoking or exposed to heavy smoke, but especially anyone who have a sedentary lifestyle, meaning like you don't even really take a walk. We're talking about just a walk, not really heavy exercise. All right. So it's like whenever you're going through this, your body is already overworked. So not taking a detox is going to expose your body to handle any invading factor to be processed on top of the layers of toxin in your body. So now the layers of toxin that your body is accustomed of managing more or less is no longer being able to deal with the new addition to the overload. So now you become an overload. I'm not sure whether I'm explaining myself properly.
I think it is clear. You're very clear.
Okay, so it's like all the above factors that I just spoke about, all this will lead to a buildup of undigested food and material in the system. That's what we call toxins. So sometimes you may see some pictures online where they will show you digestive tube, and they would show you like a thick layer inside, telling you that this is toxins, especially in the colon. Okay,
Yes.
so technically this is what it is. It's undigested food. Now, how often do we find ourselves in the situation where we do not digest food? All right, and that's almost every day, especially if we have a busy lifestyle.
All right,
So
but
we
then, yeah,
yeah,
before you go on, I want to ask a question because I'm listening to you talking about the layers being built, right? I've heard in a presentation one time, a health specialist was saying that generally what people have, that what causes overweight is the excessive waste that builds up in the system,
yeah.
right? So, in terms of using the detox, will the detox allow you to strip away some of these layers of waste that has accumulated in your system? I mean, I don't know if I jump in the gun,
Mm,
but if I am, you could just tell me. That is going to be addressed later on. But I'm listening to all that you're saying,
mhm,
and at the same time, I'm hearing you touching on some stuff that I think is important for us to sort of deal with because toxins is one thing,
yeah.
right? Carrying around excessive weight, how does a detox in particular help with that process of shedding excessive weight?
Okay, so the detox usually that would start by, it's like let's say that you need to let me just okay, use an image. You need to clean a stain contour in your kitchen. Passing a regular sponge with just maybe Clorox on it mightn't be enough to remove something that's actually stuck into the contour or probably that have, um, something that is impregnated, I would say, into the wood or whatever is your content material. So usually you may need to add like use a special detergent to be able to strip it off. And then you scrape it off and then you get your content. So when you use a detox, technically this is what it is. Maybe you are going to move your body a little more. Maybe you are going to use a therapy to target these particular those particular layers of toxin wherever they are located on your body. So when you start to when you get it moving, you get it into movement, okay? You help your body to start processing it again. And processing it, it means that you have to either eliminate through your urine, either you have to sweat. I think people's favorite in the detox is to go to the toilet for number two. That's
All
people's
right, okay.
favorite. And some people, once they don't see this one, they feel like they're not detox. But the
Okay,
toxin is eliminating through those three manners. So therefore,
okay,
if you are overweight, yes, doctor.
but then I have a question now because beside the three methods that you may have mentioned, is fasting also a way that one could detox?
Yes, but as I feel like for season three, we are going to talk about all of those topics one by
All
one.
right, okay. So
So
I'm jumping the gun here. All
we're
right,
not going
forgive
to
me.
jump the gun.
Forgive
No,
me,
no,
but
no.
I'm
Thank you.
just
I'm grateful for the question. But we're
all
not going
right.
because there's so much to mention about fasting. We are not going to cover fasting in this particular
Okay.
um, segment. All I want to say is that usually when you want to get rid of excess in your body, excess toxin, excess weight, you're gonna want to reduce how much you're putting in your body, whether it is a good thing or not. And some people, that's their problem. Because they're accustomed of eating 20 times during the day, they feel like maybe I'm going to eat like this 20 times during the day and I want to lose 50 pounds. And they probably lose 5 pounds and they're upset and they feel like the detox is not working. And that's not it. It's that maybe you need to eat 10 times per day and no longer 20 times.
Okay, but then doc, forgive me, but I just have all these questions. So you're saying that it has to be more or less a balanced approach.
It has
You
to be a
cannot
balanced approach.
just jump into it headlong and expect to get instant results.
So, although I'm going to say it at the end of the presentation, I'm just so happy you asked. I want to say that herbs or herbal supplements are not magic. So nothing is going to make you just, take 7 days detox, 10 days detox, and fix all of your problems, whether your problems are weight related or whether it is health related. You also have to take into consideration how long it took you to develop that level of buildup and give your body the time. You have to respect your body now to give it the time to get rid of. Okay,
Okay.
so for some people it might be faster, and for
All right.
some others they just gotta go slower.
One more quick question, and I wouldn't jump in too much more. Right?
Oh,
You say weight related, and you say health related.
yes.
So now you kind of put things in a different category there. So are you saying that the herbs and the treatment that you're being given by a specialist is two different approaches for the maintenance of your weight or losing weight, as well as is a different type of approach for a person who is sick?
Always a different type of approach because remember the person who is sick, apart from the detox, they also need like right now relief, immediate relief for whatever pain or whatever. They need an immediate relief while you
Okay,
are working on the long term detox. So what you take for to lose weight and your focus is only losing weight, not necessarily targeting other area of your health, doesn't have to be the same or is not supposed to be the same as someone who is targeting a particular health situation.
okay. So if you're trying to lose weight, it's not the same treatment to somebody who come in with a kidney disease or some
Yes,
kind of poisoning in some
it,
organ or
it,
whatever.
it's not the same. However, what happened is that maybe the person coming for kidney disease might lose a lot of weight through the treatment they're taking for the detox. So auntie, uncle, and neighbor, etc. We see voisin here, voisin, voisin. Everybody can say, "What are you taking?" I want by such and such, and they give me this and this and that. So you're going and you want the same thing, okay? But what happened is that very often, even in using herbs, we end up dismantling our body, deregulating the hormones and everything. And we
So,
wonder in the long run why
all
it's not
right. So
working
I want to say my last question because I want to come back and eat those words, right? But you're
properly. Okay,
saying basically the approach is one size doesn't fit all.
definitely, one size never fit all.
All right.
Like what you do for one is not the same. We are all built differently.
All right. So let me let you continue. I'll try not to interrupt.
Okay, all right. So I want to say that the waste buildup, if it become excessive, then it can escape to your digestive tract and leak into your bloodstream. So you're gonna find people who can say, "I want to clean my blood." Okay, you're gonna clean your blood. So you're drinking something to clean your blood. But are you regulating what you're eating that's going to keep on leaking into your blood? Here's the question. Okay. Um, so overall, carrying a lot of waste in your body is going to result in poor absorption of food and is going to block nutrition to the organ and the cell. Block nutrition to the organ, I want people to understand that sometimes we experience different situations. You have, you're experiencing a crisis. Your hand is hurting you, your fingers are hurting you, your joints, etc., etc. And all of these usually are toxins that are leaking into your body. Other people call toxins mucus because that's one probably like a lot of people are more accustomed of hearing due to the Dr. Sebi movement mucus everywhere. And so this is what we're calling also toxins or waste. And so if you have too much in your body, then your cells can't work properly. It creates inflammation and eventually it's going to damage many vital organs. And this is equivalent to slowly but surely stepping into a grave, which is not something easy to hear, but it is the truth. Okay? So we should keep in mind that toxins can enter the body through food, drinks, through the air around us, okay? But also for the chemicals and the detergents that you use every day. For ladies, remember that it also comes through the cosmetic products that we choose, for the makeup, and also the perfume that we use. So when you take your time, to really like give your body a break, give your body that break. So that's the detox. We should try to avoid using all of those things. Or maybe if we can't do without the makeup, we try to invest into mineral makeup, something as natural as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. Let me.
this is the advice for all the ladies who use makeup.
Ah, my goodness. If you look, and I'm not really a makeup person. Okay, because it's just not worth having to also deal with a face that need a everybody everything would need a detox now. So it for me it's not worth it on a daily basis.
Okay.
The question is, should you give detox a try? All right, well, the answer is very simple. If you feel uncomfortable in your own skin, if you feel chronically tired, or if you are unable to stick to your routine with the same physical strength and mindset, you probably should. I would like to share some physical strength and mindset, okay? Because I think about 3 years ago, I began to drink coffee. Why did I begin to drink coffee when I know that coffee is very acidic to the body? Listen, the body needed help to get up and get going. So I chose to drink coffee. And then little by little, I had to try to invest in getting better coffee that would be less acidic to my body. But then, whereas I would push the body to get there and to get everything done, what about the mind? Because usually the body's gonna get going like a robot. But what about the mind? Okay. So this um I'm going to speak about, the importance also of detoxing the mind, not just the body. So usually, as soon as you realize that you have an imbalance, you are unable to keep up with your routine, it is then that you should decide that you're going to detox. All right. Just keep in mind that the detox is not a quick weight loss diet. Okay. And anything that you're going to do that is in a speedy manner, 10 days or 7 days, you know that there will be programs where you could lose like lose
Yeah.
10 pounds in 20 days, etc., etc. And I know very well because I worked with movement before where indeed lose 5 pounds in 5 days, etc. Is it good for your body in the long run? Okay. All right. So now let's get back to the January detox trend. Why do everybody or 3 persons out of 4 want to detox in January? I would say that the trend is directly linked to the end of year celebration. Like um, many people nowadays also celebrate Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving usually, if you look at the tables for Thanksgiving, wow, so
Well,
we eat a lot around Thanksgiving because we give God thanks for so many things, but we don't give God thanks for our organs. We just eat, drink, and we forget all about, that the body has to digest all what we put on the table. Now, I don't really
okay.
know the US because, I'm not American or anything, but like, for example, I know that in the Caribbean, whenever we would have celebration, you eat at home, and then according to where you live, you might go by the neighbor or by a auntie, by somebody else, and every household have a heavy plate of food. So when you pass everywhere and you're munching everywhere, remember that the body needs a lot of time to process all of this. Also, right after those celebrations, there might be some birthdays. People like to get married around that time of the year. So we eat, we drink. And then we have Christmas and we have New Year celebration. Now, Baba, do people celebrate Christmas around you?
Yeah, generally. I mean, I'm not a much of a Christmas celebrant, but
Most of us are not, very much into the Christmas, but the thing is that there would always be people around and celebrating Christmas. Now, I don't, get into this. Like Christmas in my family, usually we have lunch together, and that's about it. You know. But however, you would find sometime that some family members may celebrate, for example, the 24th at night. Many of my family members celebrate on the 24th at night. And then
mhm.
we some who celebrate lunchtime on the 25th. So it's like all what you stuff your belly, you eat and you drink, you pass on the 24th. You do this on the 25th. Usually there's food left over on the 26th and on the 27th. You go 4 days back to back, eating and drinking. And all of these make it very difficult and it creates a stress for your organ. Now, the use of alcohol during this celebration is actually what makes things even worse. Okay, because alcohol takes a very long time to be digested and to be cleared out from the tissue. So it's a cause for concern because the festive season is often followed by a feeling of nausea. So, we feel sensitive, develop allergies, develop bloating, and people are usually less able to deal with any type of um, additional stress to their body. So, for example, up to 1 week before Christmas holidays, before the Christmas day on the island, they were probably like 46 cases of, what you don't really want to call. And then after the Christmas holidays, the numbers start to quickly climb. It wasn't just the passing, okay? It wasn't just the passing. Is that we stress the body by eating and drinking so much that when we come in contact now with those pathologies, with those toxins and so on, those diseases, the body is not able to deal with any extra because we have all this load that is still being processed within. So after excessive drinking or fasting, eating, your body wants to expel everything. The body needs time to restore the body to the natural pH level. However, the question is, do you have time to undergo the process? Okay, or are you returning to your routine with an eventual boost? So usually that's what we are going to do. We're just going to take, a boost and then we get going. All right. You're
Okay.
gonna find that many people now want to run to a magic natural remedy. Oh, natural is best. So after you disrupt your body that way, you run and get something natural, and you want the natural blend to work the magic, you know. So
Yeah.
now the question is, what is the best approach to detox?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, whatever balance you use, it should be in sync to your body and support your health in the long run. Everybody is not able to take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off to be able to detox. So it is better and it is wiser to take to probably take a supplement, maybe one or two supplements if needed, along probably with a therapy. By therapy, it could be maybe a colon cleansing. I'm just calling out a few. For some, it might be like a lymphatic drainage massage. For some, it might be the what's this thing that Dr. Akpe uses, the food detox.
Okay.
Even I'm just calling those, but there are so many others that we could use, and that's going to just give the body a boost. And maybe
Okay.
you drink something that like an alkaline drink, maybe as simple as drinking lemon water. Me, I rather aloes in the water. But all of us have our preferences, etc. And it is better to have a slow approach that's going to enable you to still face your daily chores, your daily routine, etc. Um,
Okay.
Whenever possible, you try to add movement, okay? Because it's true that when we are tired, we don't want to move.
Hmm.
But the less we move, then we gain weight. And when we gain weight now, it's becoming even more difficult for the body to bring itself back to balance. So every time the body has to adjust to a balance that is under, the prior benchmark. So you realize after a few years that you're not the person you used to be. Whereas a simple detox, could have helped you to regenerate and to give your body a chance to bring everything back to balance. So I was thinking about detoxing the mind. That is very important. When the body experiences overload, we are not, we are physically uncomfortable, but the mental health is also unstable because we realize that we feel moody, we feel cranky, and sometimes we feel lazy, we feel lethargic as well. So mental detox, it may include breathing exercises, relaxation, but it, it will engage all your five senses. Okay, you have to try to force yourself to let go of negative thoughts. And then some may need herbal supplement to achieve this as well. Okay, but it is very important to detox from your environment. So if it takes maybe that you can only dedicate 1 hour, 2 hours to self care every week, this is very important. Okay, it's very important because having your mind aligned with your body is the key to longevity. So beyond putting your mind to rest, you should also consider that toxins affecting the body externally. Um, beyond food can still be pesticide or chemical fertilizers, pollution, the smoke, cosmetic and substances. Uh, all of those things are significant contributors to environmental toxins. So if you know what's in the news is giving you a headache every night or every morning, you may consider watching maybe like every other day, or probably you may watch the replay at the end of the week. But you have to take steps to help your mind to take a break. Okay, because if your mind is not functioning, that's just the hard drive or the computer. No hard drive, even if the shell of the computer is still brand new, you don't have a computer to work with. So
Okay,
that's
so
very important.
a quick question then. Given the fact that what we eat, what we consume, eventually becomes our blood, and the brain has to be fed the said blood. If the condition of our blood is poor, then our brains would not be able to function efficiently.
And definitely, definitely. And I always have those little examples to make us smile and to make us laugh. I was approached not so long ago in a conversation for business, and then the gentleman said that he's vaccinated, etc. And let me just leave it there so I don't make anybody feel targeted in particular. But me, when the person said they were vaccinated, I took a few step back. Why? I'm not there, to speak about any particular approach to what happened to a vaccinated person from what doesn't happen to a vaccinated person. But for me, I feel like I don't put any and anything in my body. You understand?
No,
And
it's
I'm not
absolutely your right to make that choice.
exactly. So now for me, somebody who is willing to kind of take a gamble to use anything in their body, it makes me wonder how close do I want to be with the person? Okay, because you never know, in what you have to take care of your environment. You don't know how your environment is going to have an impact on you. So like for me, people probably who don't take care of their body, who eat any and anyhow, etc. Those are not people I choose to have in my close circle, whether for business or whether for like, my small circle, but that's my choice. So the more like I like me being me, I don't have a problem being by myself than having the wrong circle around me because it is very important. It's going to impact my mind. And
Well,
sometimes it's
I
better to
think
be in silence.
yes, surely one's ability to make choices for one's best interests is the right of every person. So if a person chooses to be vaccinated, that is their right. If a person chooses
Oh,
not to be vaccinated, that is also their right.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
again, my me personally, my thing is informed choices.
True.
That's my only concern. People need to be properly informed so that they can make proper choices.
And that's what it is. However, as I say, it's like we all have to be properly informed of what we do, the decision that we take with our body, and understand that any decision that we take, anything we eat, furthermore, that we probably put in our body, whether for injection or whether for teas that we drink or whatever and so on, is going to always have an impact on our lifestyle and our health. If not today, definitely in the long run. But for sure, it's going to have an impact. So, to conclude, because it's already 50 minutes, whether you choose to engage in a holistic lifestyle or to take, a more drastic detox, we would like to remind you that beyond physical alignment, you should also consider your mind and your environment. Okay? If you are already using long-term medical treatment, it is always recommended to refer to your doctor before you take on any remedy, even if it is natural. So whereas most physicians will fund the detox, so we got to be honest about it. It is then recommended that you consult an experienced herbalist or naturopath who is able to advise you with the right balance between your supplement, your existing treatment to prevent any negative interaction. All right. So in a case like that, we would like to, if you are ready, using a particular treatment, don't handle it on your own. Before we went live, I was telling Baba that nowadays we have millions of Google herbalists. Not because you find this suggested for that on Google that you should take it if you know you're already using medication for whatever situation. It is better to discuss with someone who will know how to guide you. Okay. Okay, last but not least, some signs of extreme buildup of physical toxins, even before you gain weight, they will include a heavy white coat on your tongue. You will notice that you have more dental plaque. When you wake up in the morning, you will feel around your teeth that you have more plaque than usual. Okay. And that usually, whenever this is happening, it means that your body is not absorbing, your body is already not absorbing the nutrients anymore from your body. And so, well, some people just brush their teeth, brush their tongue, and they're done. Okay, but if you realize that you keep coming back regularly, it means that definitely your body needs a little food. So that is it for today. Detox does not consist only in natural remedies or detox tea. So be fair with yourself and be consider the root of your buildup and your imbalance.
All right, yeah, well, I would like you to close off, and that's basically it for this week's show. All right, so we're saying Odabo and see you all next week.